Because if you don't have fear of losing anything, you will never be committed. Hi beautiful souls, welcome to my channel. My name is Ankita, your friend over here, back again with another amazing video for all of you. Before I move forward, I would like to request you, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and be part of this lovely tribe. Your presence truly matters and it means a world to me. In this video, I will be talking about the most asked question, which is about how to be consistent. I will be sharing how I am able to be consistent over here so that it helps you to find clarity how to be consistent. Do you wake up each day? Or are there those days where you don't wake up? You wake up every day, if I'm not wrong. So I want to ask how you are consistent about waking up every day. I think that's how we are designed. But if you see, there is an element of design over there. We know like if it's night we have to sleep, and if there is morning we have to wake up, because there is this system which might sound cliche, but this is a system where we are just told since the time we are born, like this is how we operate and this is how we function. This is the universal system where sun comes at particular time and moon comes at particular time, and that's how our cycle and our clock is designed that way. And you will just see how things are just interconnected, so stay tuned. Second thing, how many of you go to work on a daily basis? I think you are consistent over there also. There can be some days where you are not going if you are sick or if you have any other work, but I think mostly we all show up for our work each day. Why do we do that? Why we are so consistent with our job? Why we are so consistent about showing up? Again, you will see that there is a system involved. Because if you don't go for job, you won't be rewarded. You won't get that salary for which you are working. So you show up despite whatever is happening on those days also when you don't feel like going, because this can be the possibility. Nobody likes to go for work, especially if they are doing something which they don't enjoy, but probably they are doing those things for sake of money. I'm not saying over here as something right or wrong, but if you try and understand more depth and detail about it, you will realize there is a reward attached to it. That's why you are showing up. You have bills to pay, you have lifestyle to survive. Therefore, you do the things, you go to job, and you just have a system designed like, okay, by this time you have to show up and by this time you end up your day. Similarly, if you want to do anything in life, for instance, if you want to be consistent with the YouTube video or podcast, because most of you have asked me like how to be consistent with the videos, I want to tell you, have system in place. This system doesn't have to be fancy. You have to be accountable. Now there is something that is attached to being consistent. Understand this thing, if you're not consistent with your work, if you're not consistent with your video, you will see that you're losing on followers. You will see that people might not trust you. They might not even know what to expect out of you. That's why it is important to have this system which is like, be specific, like you will upload video on Tuesday, Monday, whatever day suits you. Just choose it for yourself according to when you are comfortable showing up, and whatever day you decide, it doesn't really matter. Then do it without any excuse, because mostly you will see the people who are not consistent are those who are not committed to particular day, for instance. Because if you are like, when I feel like I'll do the video, you will never feel like making the videos. Because I have seen there are days when that Friday deadline hits, I have to record video by Thursday no matter what. And most of the time I have seen that when I'm not in that great spirit, when I'm not feeling like showing up, that Thursday is like an alarm clock for me, which just tells me like, tomorrow is Friday, your video has to come out. No matter what is happening, go and record the video. Why? Because there is this system involved. There is this commitment involved which tells me like, okay, you have to show up and you have to upload a video. Until and unless you don't have this commitment, you will see that you will not be consistent in anything that you do. Let me give you a different example over here so that you understand it in more detail, not just for your video or career aspect, but also in your personal aspect. Now tell me, if you're in a relationship and if you're married, especially, you will see that, no matter whole day you're out, you're just doing your chores, you're just busy with your life. By the time night comes, you know, like you have to go back, your family is waiting for you. Or even if you're staying away from your family, you have this somewhere, you know, showing up attitude towards your family. In a month, in a day, in a week, doesn't really matter, but you show up. Don't you think all these things are so interconnected where you just show up? Because you know, if you don't show up for relation, eventually it will die. You have to water it, you have to be consistent over there also. Otherwise, you will also see where people are like, I don't really care, those relations start dying. There is that disconnect in the relation that comes if you are not showing up. And this is the biggest reason where, you know, we all are having our individual life, which is a great thing, but you have to prioritize other things. You have to have this attitude where you are showing up for others also, because you will see that once you have this approach of showing up, you will wake up and you will do the things even on those days when you don't feel like showing up. There can be challenges where you are going through a bad health, but you will try and you will consider, can I show up? Can I do it differently? Maybe it will not be 100%, but at least you will perform, because sometimes all it takes in all aspect of your life is showing up and just being there. Once you adopt to this lifestyle, once you adopt to this change, you will see that things are getting much more simplified for you. You will enjoy the things. You know, I'll stay away from my family, but I always look forward to go back and meet them. Why? Because I know, like, you know, there is this attitude of showing up, there is this attitude of connecting. Even if it's for a while, I love it because I know it just energizes me. Similarly, if you find that, you know, wow factor in whatever you're doing, you will see that showing up becomes easy. If I tell you to do something which you don't enjoy, you will really find it hard to show over there. Okay, an interesting example is coming in my mind. You know, there are those relatives also in everyone's family where we might not be too comfortable spending time with them. Do we choose them? No, I don't think we really choose them. There can be some situation where we are spending time with them, but we are not choosing to spend time with them. Why? Because at first place we don't like their company probably. Maybe we don't vibe, whatever the reason is. But you will see that somewhere you feel like, oh, it's okay even if I don't show up. The same thing goes for your work also. If you find something which you enjoy, you will just feel like, oh wow, I just want to go there and I want to do this. I think this is the biggest missing piece which I have found from doing all this thing is, I really love doing this. You know, back of my mind there is always this thing like, okay, I want to do this. And until and unless I don't do this thing, I feel restless. You know, when you have commitment and when you have given someone time, like you will be there by this time, how do you function? You know, there is this restless energy that comes into picture. You are like, oh, I want to go there, I have to do this. We just leave everything and we just rush toward it. Why do we do that? Because there is a commitment, there is this energy shift which is pushing you. Like, oh, you have just told them that you will be there by 3, 4, 5, whatever it is, and you just make sure that you are there. Why? Because there is that commitment. So you can only be consistent in anything when there is a factor of commitment, and this commitment goes deeper into life. This is not just about career, this is about relationship also. If you are not committed to your relationship, you will see that eventually things will just drift apart. You will part your ways. Why? Because to sustain anything in life, there has to be commitment. We have this commitment with our work, that's why we are consistent over there too. I love doing my work, that's why I'm like, no matter what. Even at times I have seen during my sleep also, this things just goes in my mind like, you know, I have to do this, I have to do that. Why? Because I have certain commitments and I am in a profession being an architect where there is this commitment factor around my work. We always work on project deadlines. So, you know, there is always this factor about being committed to our project, showing up and doing the things, because when something gets delayed, it just affects our entire project line. And this is not just about my profession. If you're in any sector, you will see that there is this commitment that is involved with your work also. Similarly, in whatever area of your life you want consistency, you have to have commitment. Because without commitment, you will not show up. All these things are so interconnected, but I think that's what I have found. Once you find this thing, like if you're not consistent with YouTube videos, you are losing on follower, for instance. Because if you see, followers are no other like, showing up for them. You show up for those people, that's why you all are connected. If you don't show up, how will you be connected with your audience, with your subscriber, your family? Because I see this as a tribe, so I have to show up for my tribe no matter what is happening around me, because I have committed to them that every Friday there will be one video. So if I don't follow that thing, that people will go away from my life. The only difference between you guys who are connected over here is we are just virtually connected. It is no other than, me having people in my personal life and meeting them on day-to-day basis and meeting you all over here. The only difference is I'm connected through you through online platform. I think that's the only difference, because this is how I even show up in my personal relation. I think somewhere we have designed certain things this way. That's how we all are connected with each other. So just have this thing in place, and I think most of your things will be sorted, because if you don't have fear of losing anything, you will never be committed. This is something which is way deeper, and I read it somewhere. I don't know exact what it was. It was something around this line like, if you don't have this fear of losing, you will never be consistent, you will never be committed to anything. The reason we show up for our family is because we have this fear like we will lose them. Or even the romantic relation, we know if we don't nurture that relation will fizzle out. There can be situation when you're caught up with certain things. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about taking and owning the responsibility. And I think we do everything in this way only. So I think this kind of a fear is good, which keeps you accountable, which keeps you consistent, because otherwise you will not show up, you will not do anything in life. Everyone just loves to be in bed until they are sick of being in bed also. Just understand the difference. I have seen this thing where my health has deteriorated a lot, and I found like what the hell is happening with my life, and I felt like no, I don't want to be in bed. We will have sometime this conversation also where I'll touch on this point also. You will get rid of not showing up, and that's how you will start showing up in all aspect of your life. So just see how it works for you. This way the insight which I have gained, not just through this journey but through all aspect of my life. That's why I wanted to bring this out to all of you, not only for those who are doing something online in YouTube or podcast. I wanted to keep this conversation a cohesive one for everyone. So I hope that each one of you have found something out of this video. So do let me know in the comment section, what do you think about this video? I'll be looking forward to connect with you in my next video. Sending you away lots of love and light. Signing off from my side. Until next time, keep shining bright. Bye bye.